Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of American Soccer Quick Hits. It's an exciting week for American soccer fans. It's an exciting week for Major League Soccer fans because, yes, it's true. Lionel Messi is on his way to Miami. He'll join this summer. I know you know who he is. This channel is I created this channel with the idea in mind that I would speak to the casual soccer fan, someone who is an American sports fan who would like to get into soccer, someone who maybe only watches during the World Cup and is not engaged the other times. Well, if you're someone who only watches soccer during the time of the World Cup, then you know who Messi is. I think everybody in the world knows who Messi is. There's a case to be made that he perhaps is the most famous person in the world, not just athlete. He's the best player playing today, best player of this generation, and arguably in the conversation for the best player ever. And he's still got some good years left in him, and he's coming to Miami. I say that because Major League Soccer has had to fight a reputation that they earned early on in their existence as a retirement league. You get some big names that have played in Europe, and they'll come here just to kind of finish out their careers, and they're just a shadow of their former selves. And the league has largely moved away from that, and they're now more of a selling league. They're finding younger talent, mostly in South America, and are becoming that stepping stone in the career for players to where they can be sold on to Europe. And that's working. And I feel like we've largely moved away from that retirement league label. People want to throw that at us now. I've seen it a little bit. Mostly I've seen nothing but just ecstatic, just huge celebrations. But those who want to be cynical about it still try to throw that label out there. Totally different in this case. Does not apply to Messi. He's still got some good years left in him. Yes. Is he past his prime? Certainly. But every club in the world, every league in the world would love to have him. Barcelona tried to get him back. They laid out a proposal for him of what they would do to bring him back. They were willing to sell off players, willing to give salary cuts to the players they kept, and move all these pieces and impact all these other players' contracts and careers to get Messi back. The Saudi Arabian League offered him close to $2 billion to come play there. And he turned that down. And so he's coming to Miami. It's a huge deal. It's going to be just a historic deal for the league. But if there's anybody that's worth moving mountains for, it's going to be Lionel Messi. So I wanted to give you a little bit of what this deal is going to include and the impact that we've already seen him have across the league. It cannot be overstated how huge of a boost this is for Major League Soccer. The league has been kind of holding water and kind of jockeying for position and getting ready for that 2026 World Cup to come to the United States. You know, it was the 94 World Cup that really gave birth to this league. And here we are over 25 years later. And the league has been kind of looking at the 26 World Cup as a way to inject new life, new interest, kind of secure the future of the league. And we're still hoping for a lot out of that tournament. But this is more immediate and arguably could be even bigger. They are going to pay him a lot of money. I don't know if I've heard the cash amount. Maybe I did. I think it was 150 million over the life of the contract, 2.5 years, which will put it through the end of the 2025 season, $150 million. Now, the way salary rules work in Major League Soccer, it's a heavily capped league. There's a lot of very restrictive roster rules and salary rules. But when they wanted to bring David Beckham into Major League Soccer in 2007, they created a new rule called the designated player rule, which means there's 3 roster spots where the teams can pay the players whatever they want to pay them. And a certain amount will go toward the salary cap number, but beyond that, you can pay them whatever you want to. And there's 3 spots per team to be able to do that. They created that rule just to be able to bring David Beckham in 2007. And people can complain about how it wasn't fair. They were just changing the rules in the middle of the season just to benefit the Galaxy at the time. And you know, that's fair criticism, but the truth is that it was important for the development and the growth of the league. And we've seen the league grow literally up to, we now have the 30th team has just been announced. And we've seen, of course, more money in, we've seen higher quality of play, and it's been very, very good for the growth of the league. And so obviously Messi is going to come in as a designated player. He's going to be one of those slots for Miami, and they'll be able to pay him whatever they want. Um, the In addition to that money, he is going to this is my understanding, nothing's been finalized yet. Hopefully we'll know stuff more, we'll confirm a lot of these details here in the next few weeks, but they're offering him equity in the team. He can be part owner of Inter Miami. By the way, his friend David Beckham is the owner of Inter Miami. A sweetheart deal that the league offered Beckham to get him in 2007 was the promise that he could have a franchise in the future. So he was basically given a franchise when he was through playing, was ready to come back to America. He didn't have to pay the hundreds of millions of dollars in franchise fees like we see happening now. They gave him the franchise. He put it in Miami. He's friends with Messi. Messi has had a home in Miami for years. And so now we're seeing all this come together. In addition to the money, they're giving him equity in the team. He's going to be part owner of Miami. In addition to that, the Adidas will be paying Messi a percentage of jersey sales. Now, I assume that means that percentage of Miami Messi jerseys, he'll get a percentage of that. Honestly, I thought maybe that was true for every player. They get a portion of their own jersey sales, but maybe not. If someone knows that for sure, knows the details in that area, leave a comment and let me know. However, I heard one professional podcast that covers the league professionally suggest that there was nothing in the language of the deal that said he only got a percentage of Messi jerseys sold. Like maybe all jerseys, all MLS jerseys, regardless of the player, he just gets a cut from Adidas of all MLS jerseys sold. I don't know if that's true or not, but I did hear it suggested from professional reporters. So I'm going to be very interested to see what exactly that detail looks like. I hope to find out soon. In addition to that, Apple is going to pay Messi a percentage based on increases in subscriptions to the MLS season pass. Okay, so Apple TV is the streaming home of the league. They offer some matches for free every week, and that's how I'm doing it. But they want you to buy the package, right? So you can get every game every week with all of their studio and commentary and wraparound and all the other additional programming that they do. And by all reports, the production has been fantastic. It's all been very well received. Apple, of course, is counting on the fact that Messi in the league is going to drive subscriptions, and there's really just little doubt about that. And so Adidas is going to pay him a cut of the sales of the shirts, and Apple's going to pay him a cut in the increase of subscriptions. So there's no telling how much money he's going to make. Keep in mind, Apple TV is available globally. Everybody in the world can pay for their season pass and watch Major League Soccer games. And there is nobody more famous or more popular around the globe than Lionel Messi. There are people on every continent this week learning about Major League Soccer for the very first time, and suddenly they're Miami fans. So we've already seen just a huge boom just on this announcement this week. It's unbelievable. Within 24 hours, every Miami game for the rest of the year sold out. And I don't just mean their home games. I mean everywhere on their road schedule, in stadiums across the country, all of the Miami games sold out instantly. And this is with repricing. Like I saw an official infographic from Miami where the tickets that were being sold for $29 the day before the announcement are now being sold in the neighborhood of about $430. And that's not the secondary market. That's just what the stadium is selling tickets for. You also have to wonder how many of these games are actually going to be played in these MLS stadiums. Certainly the Miami home games, which, there are these scaled down soccer specific stadiums all across the country that typically sit 20 to 30,000 people. Miami, of course, is the home to the Dolphins. There's the NFL stadium right there. I've got to think that they're going to start playing the rest of their home games in the NFL stadium. They won't own all the revenue. They'll have to lease it out from the Dolphins or however it works. But there's going to be a whole lot more money made on the ticket sales, and I can see that happening around the league. I could, like, if it were to happen, it wouldn't surprise me. There's been no announcements like that or anything, but he's going to sell tickets all across the country all the time. He's still playing right in his prime. Every country, every club, every league would still want him. This is not a case of a retirement league. So it's going to, I can't overstate how massive this is going to be. Now, what makes it interesting is that Miami right now is terrible. They're in dead last in the East, and they don't have a good team. They just fired their manager. They actually don't have a manager right now. And Messi has always played for the super clubs. He's played for Barcelona almost his whole life. So the last 2 years, he played for the giant in the French league, PSG. And he's used to being on a good team with the best players in the world and not having to worry about salary caps. So Messi playing for Miami, that's going to be kind of a culture shock. They don't even have there's a limited number of charter flights that teams can take in the course of the season. They fly commercial. You might see Messi and coach with the general public going to a road game 3,000 miles away. He's not used to traveling in a country that big either for games. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Here's the thing, though. 9 clubs out of the East will make the playoffs. All Miami has to do is make it to 9th place. They have half a season, and I think they're only like 6 points out right now from the 9th place spot. So can Messi come in? And by the way, the position he plays and the way he plays fills a very specific need that they have. I mean, it literally is a good fit outside of the star power. And so maybe he's enough to get them over the playoff line and get them qualified for the postseason. However, there are also already reports of other huge names in world soccer, guys that Messi has played with, names that you might recognize if you paid attention during the World Cup, who are already linked to Miami, who are ready to come to Miami just so they can play with Messi. Got Sergio Busquets, who's a giant name, who plays for Barcelona. If you remember the names from the World Cup, Messi's Argentina teammate, Angel Di Maria, he's been linked. Luis Suarez, who is from Uruguay and has played for Barcelona, he's also been linked for a long time, actually, to Miami. And all these names are still being, like, the rumor mill is just spinning up. What does seem the most plausible, though, is the idea of hiring Tata Martino as the new Miami manager. And to me, that may already be just all but a done deal, even though there's not been an official announcement yet. But it makes a lot of sense. Martino is someone who managed Messi at Barcelona and later, or managed Messi at Argentina. And then he came to Major League Soccer and he took over as Atlanta's first manager, led them to an MLS Cup in their second season. And he's now served a stint as the Mexico national team manager. And now he's looking for a job. And if there's going to be any manager in Major League Soccer that, number one, will not be intimidated by Messi, but also instantly have Messi's respect. He's coming to America to play for Major League Soccer. But if he's playing for Tata Martino, I mean, he's going to respect his manager. That's kind of a big deal. I see that as a perfect fit. I hope this is true. I want to see Tata Martino as the new manager at Miami with Messi playing for him, which, by the way, would reunite Martino not only with Messi, but with Joseph Martinez, who was his star striker in Atlanta. And that makes a lot of sense. Now, if you add Angel Di Maria, you add Sergio Busquets to Messi, making 9th place before the year is over seems pretty doable. And of course, once you get into the tournament format of the postseason, anything can happen. So we'll just have to see. Don't know if all these player moves could be pulled off in this summer's transfer window, but Miami also has Messi under contract for all of 24 and all of 25. So you're a casual fan, you know who Messi is. I don't care if you're a casual fan, you know who Messi is. And so we're already seeing revenue bumps, renewed interest, global interest. My goodness, it doesn't get any bigger than this. I am a little bit later, toward the end of June, I've invited a special guest onto my show. If you follow MLS Soccer Twitter, you've probably seen him. His name is Eli Lesser. He's at This Week in MLS on Twitter. He's agreed to come on my show. We don't have the date nailed down yet, but we're going to be talking about all the big stories in Major League Soccer, and it doesn't get any bigger than Lionel Messi. Hopefully, by the time we talk, a lot of these details have been confirmed or cleared up, and we'll have more to say about it. But anyway, for those that are waiting for my reaction, because I had a couple of friends of the show reach out and ask, how do I feel about this deal? I love it. Well, there's no downside. How can you not like it? I don't care if he's 35 years old. He's still in demand. He's still got skills. He's still going to make a huge impact on this league. He's going to raise the visibility. He's going to raise the interest. Miami, despite being a bad team right now and in last place, they're going to be the face of this league around the world because of Messi. So hopefully we will see some good, strategic marketing for how to maximize his presence in the league and his impact on the league. And hopefully we see a lot of subscriptions spike up with MLS Season Pass, and hopefully get a lot more casuals watching a little more often, because we have the best player in the world in our league. Those who dismiss Major League Soccer or American soccer fans who don't watch MLS because it's not the best league in the world, well, guess what? We're going to have the best player in the world. So maybe you'll tune in. There's a lot more to say, and there's a lot going on. The summer of soccer is in full swing. This has already gone too long. This obviously deserved an episode all to itself. Lionel Messi is coming to Major League Soccer to play for Miami. Don't pretend like you're not excited. I know that you are. I want you to watch some soccer with me, and I'll talk to you next time.